To those of you that are watching us live on the East Coast. It's still early here on the West Coast. But good morning, everyone. I hope that you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday to each of you. It's J Haleem and your girl Tamika L. Sims. We are back with another live stream. So, hello to those of you checking in on our YouTube channel, Starve Talk, and to those of you that are watching via Facebook. So, I'm going to make sure that you guys can see and hear us okay. Um, Make sure that you guys can see and hear us okay. So we're going to check that just for a second on our end. But as you are coming on, let us know how you're doing and how things are going in your neck of the woods. So it looks like we are coming across great. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. Guys can see and hear. So we are all good there. So you want to say hello?
I don't hear nothing. Nah, what up, y'all? What's going on? Just get down to the nitty gritty. Nah.
So hi Candace, thank you so much for checking in. So wanted to come on and just kind of have a conversation about something that I saw yesterday on my social media page about the brand Target. And I believe that this was found, and I'll pull it up so I can give you guys the original story here so that we can have a conversation about this. Want to talk about the brand Target. I know many of us are Target shoppers. I've even seen funny memes that said all women, grown women, want to do is buy stuff off Amazon, shop at Target, and drink wine at the house. So, but we want to talk about Target and talk about the brand and kind of what we saw on yesterday. So I'm going to pull up this story so we have the actual facts of what happened. So a woman that I follow was in a Target store yesterday in Texas, and she came across a particular clothing line. Now, of course, she is a woman that of faith, so she took it from a spiritual perspective. So that's not our platform, so we're not going to do that. We just really want to focus more so on the facts. And so what happened was the story is that Target partnered with a Satanist designer by the name of A.B. Prolin for their gay pride collection. And so what happened is it wasn't the issue that this woman had with us, and what we want to bring to you guys on today was that it was not about the it wasn't a clothing section, or it wasn't a clothing line designed for adults. This was something that was specifically created for children, and they even had clothing for newborns. And so, which was a problem. They had albums, they had clothing for newborns, they had some other little things that were kind of designed to, I don't know, introduce a lifestyle to somebody that's as early as 3 6 months old, or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure about that. But then I guess more people started hearing about that story, and the next thing you know, it was all over our social media platforms about this particular line. So there's two things. There is the aspect of the LGBTQ clothing line portion of it, but also that it was created by an individual who is a known Satanist. And if you don't know what that is, a Satanist is someone who worships Satan. So you're seeing a lot more of that in the media. You're seeing conference. Well, I've seen across my feed a conference, a convention. It's called Satan Con, where they focus specifically on that, and then also any additional teachings that can come along. So that's kind of something that we wanted to talk about on today, to really get your thoughts and your feedback about it. To get somebody said, what did Target do? So to get your feedback about it, to get your thoughts about it, and really kind of let's just engage and have this conversation for a little bit. Because again, the major issue is that it's not that it was clothing for adults. Like when you're an adult, you can make whatever decision it is that you want to make. But to kind of push something on a baby, like literally a baby, that's something that I have an issue with.
What up, y'all? Now I have all issues, 100,000% issues with that. Let's just establish this so we can get it out the way, because you got to preface statements with people. And if you come in late and you don't get this, please go back in the replay before you start talking greasy. We don't have a problem with gay people. I love gay people. I can say that because my family, I have a good amount of gay people in my family. They're grown. They're grown individuals that made a choice to love whom they love, be who they want to be with, and it's nobody's business. It's nobody can't tell them nothing about what they do. We don't judge their spouses because one of them is married, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in my immediate family. But if they ain't, then they are to us, and we love him and her. I'm just so we ain't put nobody out there, just like as if they're family. And they can attest to that if they're on here or they come on here. They know that, right? That's not the issue. We got to stop allowing this community to stop attacking children. I don't want, my daughter's 14 years old and I ain't slow. I know that she sees stuff on YouTube, sees stuff on the computer, but I still haven't watched, and I still to this day would turn a channel for something that's showing overly sexualized, content if my daughter's in the room with me. Because she's still a kid. And as a responsible parent, as responsible as I can be, I'm not going to be the person to introduce that type of stuff to you like that. And so we got to have a problem with allowing other individuals to introduce these type of things like that to our children. And so, of course, people are going to say this, say all that other nonsense. Right is right and wrong is wrong. But the problem is we live in a world now where the truth and what's right does not matter anymore. And the only way to combat that is to fight it. And so when I was sent this content, like Tamika said, the lady went off into the churchy piece, and that's not what this platform is about.
Right.
We're not getting into that. At the same time, when you have children's board games, children's albums, you got little onesies with I'm proud and all this other stuff like that. Like, why would you do that? You got the rainbow stuff on and the pride thing, celebrating pride for newborns. I mean, this is literally onesies. And then, toddlers and all this other stuff like that. We've already heard about schools being created, elementary schools. You know what I'm saying? Elementary schools. Now, I am speaking in a couple of days at a school that's specifically for people who are high school students who are suffering or recovering from addictions, right? You barely can find a school like this. There's more schools that have been created specifically for kids in this country that's supposed to be for gay kids than it is for students that are suffering or recovering from addictions. This is a real problem. I'm not going to say that they don't have problems, but I don't think that these should be children problems, because if we as adults do what we're supposed to do, that's not something they should be addressing as kids. They should be addressing that. It might start happening in the middle of teenage years and then going into adult. But elementary school, come on. That's a community problem. And this don't even got nothing to do with what you choose. Sex and as elementary kids, it's a problem. That should be mortifying. That should be mortifying. I'm a man and I was a virgin in elementary school. So regardless of what, we should be able to come to an agreement that having an idea about, sex or talking about sex or addressing sex and things of that nature with elementary kids and younger is too much. It's entirely too much. We got to have this open dialogue going forward, not just on this platform, but I want to talk to individuals in the community, because for me, I want to know, because only determination for me is that a guy or a girl choose to deal with somebody that's just like them. Now, it's been a lifestyle that's been created. I don't know what that. I don't know anything about that from a lifestyle perspective. But because I don't know what heterosexual lifestyle is. We're heterosexuals because we choose to deal with the opposite sex, right? So if that's what the only determining factor is, then that's not for kids. Now you gotta help me out if it's something else because I don't want to speak from a place of ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what determines that makes me a heterosexual because I choose to be with a woman. And if if that choice is what makes you, LGBTQ, then what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like kids shouldn't be have nothing to do with this. Kids should be off limits. Y'all let us know if we saying something wrong, if we here to be corrected, and educated more so.
Yeah. So Candace asked what was on the clothes, so we'll pull that up. Hi Jana, hi Singleton. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So Candace's comment said, I think the argument more so is we are over sexualizing children as a whole. Even shirts like Mommy's Little Heartbreaker or asking elementary age children if they have a boyfriend or girlfriend already, it all falls in the same line.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I don't like the language. I see sometimes, especially with single mothers, and I was a single mother. I raised my son as a single mother. So I see a lot of time with the language. I don't like it where the little boys are put in a position of being the man of a household when he's 7 years old, 8 years old, whatever the case may be. Like, I don't like that. There's a lot more, and I don't know if you see it more in the women's side. Like, this may not be the conversation for the live stream for that conversation, but I think we just have to, we really got to look at the things that we're saying, especially when it comes to our children. And you're right. It does fall in the same line. So there is a conversation as a whole that needs to be had about what we're doing to our children, because we really are, they're being exposed to so much, whether we are choosing that or not, exposing them to that. They see things in school, they have things going on with their friends that when I was coming up 20 years ago, well, more than 20 years ago, in elementary school, these were conversations that we did not have. There were things, stay in a child's place, don't come into the room, and do all things like that. Like, that's how we were brought up. But now in 2023, it is not the same. So as adults, as parents, as godparents, as whatever, we have to make sure that we are doing what we can to protect our children. And I think that we're really failing society as a whole to do that. She said, I understand going to pride events and wanting to have a rainbow shirt on as a family, maybe like you would wear a team shirt or something, but event specific.
Who said that?
That's Candace. That's
Okay.
another part of her comment to that. So, but yeah, thank you, Candace, for weighing in for sure. And so, again, we just need to be talking about what's happening to our kids, but we also see with that the detriment of it, and just then there's instances of bullying and all kinds of things, and our kids are taking their lives. And also we just as a whole, we need to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to protect our kids, period.
Yeah, it's sad, but you're gonna have individuals who are going to throw out the common sense of this conversation, and start talking nonsense and try to say that we're um bashing or against a certain kind of lifestyle, and that's just not true. Because the truth of the matter is that nobody's lifestyle or nobody's sexual preference is nobody else's business. I don't believe that heterosexuals should be standing in front of a bunch of people necking and kissing each other from that perspective, making people feel uncomfortable and all that other stuff like that. It's not for you. It's created for it to be something that's between whoever choose to be in a relationship with each other. And so I just don't agree. But our babies have to be protected. We shouldn't have to feel like um, they're gonna. Because I remember it was a gentleman from South Carolina. He actually West Bellamy. He now lives in West Virginia. He's like a no, he lives in Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, but he's like a councilman or something like that. He had made the news before, but he made a big stink about one of these stores, North Face. Actually, I'm sorry, it was North Face selling bandana printed jersey, I mean jackets and stuff like that, and making bandana printed stuff, and got them to take it down because it was promoting gang violence. You see what I'm saying? Like that should be the same situation. That should be the same situation. Like they shouldn't be. It shouldn't be okay for North Face to make red and blue bandana style jackets to sell to our kids to start promoting gang violence. Like I said, that is a choice that should be made by an adult. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Like, and if we're stripping our babies from the opportunity to have a choice and we're forcing them to be a thing, it's not good. I tell people all the time, my son likes to play basketball, but I always remind him hey, you don't got to go make me rich to go to the NBA. I'm not gonna force you to do this. If you ever tell me something you don't want to do, hey, that's the first thing we're gonna do, because I'm not stripping my child of his choice. Right. My job is to guide you along with the decisions that you make. Once you get to a point where it's time for you to make your own decisions, we have to do that. We got to keep the choice in the matter. We have to keep that choice going. We got to keep people, being in a space where they can choose. We're going through political scenarios right now where they're taking away women's choice. When they talk about abortion, it's the choice. That's a horrible thing. I got family members, I got good friends who was forced into having abortions, and their bodies was messed up because of it, in certain situations. I am pro-choice. I want you to be able to choose to have either one, but they were forced into it and say, yo, and it wasn't because it was going to be how they were going to look. If my friend was going to have a baby at 16, 17 years old, and it's like, nah, go ahead and do that. Or I had friends who were older than that, but they got pregnant and other individuals wasn't going to be good for them. And they forced them to do, like, we can't take away choice from nobody, man. Especially not our kids. We can't tell them that they can be anything they want to be, and at the same breath tell them you got to do this. Right. That's just not right. So we have to, be cognizant of that. I think that's corny of Target. I think it's irresponsible of Target. Yeah, I definitely would like to, for my own understanding, it doesn't have to be publicized, whatever, but I would like to have have conversations with people from the community so that I can have a better understanding. Because I think there's a lot going on. It's a lot of hatred, a lot of vitriol, a lot of real dangerous things that's happening in this space. And I think the best course of action is to get understanding and to have real conversations with people so that people can tread not just lightly, but just know how to. You don't tread lightly when you know where to walk. You just walking. You're comfortable. Because treading lightly sometimes is uncomfortable. Walking on eggshells is uncomfortable. Yeah. You want to be able to know how to move around individuals, be able to say things comfortably, be able to conduct yourself comfortably. And, I believe that will help out. But we got to be mature enough to be able to say, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. I don't think that nobody that's right now on this platform disagrees with the children aspect or whatever. But at the end of the day, we don't want to, because this conversation or a different type of conversation might come up another time. Right. And I want to know the direction that we need to be going in so that we can best be helping and adding value to our audience and to our family members, especially we broadcasting and I Won't Starve Nation. That's family. Right. In the nation. So the nation is was built out of something that was a time where, in the pandemic, when we all didn't have no uncertainty, we had all uncertainty. But I remember for months us being on every single day with most of the people that's in here. And for y'all who don't know, when this started in 2020, March of 2020, we were right in the thick of the pandemic, sitting in the house waiting on 2 weeks and waiting on another 2 weeks, and then it just like, yo, we shut down for real, for real.
Yes.
And but we all had each other, and so some of us have met each other, some of us haven't, but we're still considered family in this space. So we're not hurting nobody in this place. We won't do that. We won't allow that to be happening. But we do need to have these conversations. We do need to have dialogue, open or closed dialogue, but dialogue nevertheless, so that everybody can have understandings and be crystal clear on what's what. I think that'd be the safest bet and the best bet.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's really the beautiful thing about this platform is that we are able to talk and have conversations about. That's what S.T.A.R.V.E talk is about. The acronym Stand Tall and Reclaim Victory Every Day. So I don't believe that you can do that if you're not willing to have the conversation, no matter how uncomfortable it can be on either side. So that's why when we're doing these live streams weekly, and of course it can be more frequently if there's a broader conversation that needs to happen. And as Jay said, if there's a private conversation that needs to happen, like those are great.
It is private conversations that need to have, because you see people just jumping off the handle, going after the LGBTQ community, and then they have to backtrack, or then they have to we are adults. Why can't we have conversation first before we move forward? Right. Before we conduct ourselves like grown-ups assholes. You know what I'm saying? This is a grown platform. We ain't with that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to. I do believe it's times, especially I'm in business, sometimes you need to do stuff and then apologize later. Yeah. But I don't think this is not business. This is, moving in the community, and in that community we have our brothers and sisters as well. And so if you truly don't want to hurt somebody and you want to grow, you move in this manner. Everybody else is making excuses. Right. You can easily reach out to somebody. You can sit down with your brother, your sister, whatever, because they are them. Don't get me started with the what's it called? Because I don't know pronouns. Yeah. I know what we were taught in school, so I'm old enough to do that. We go, that's a whole nother thing. But those are your family members. And so you shouldn't have to go out the house to be educated, because somebody in your family know what it is. So you should be able to have that conversation and talk. And if you ain't loving enough to talk to your own family member, then that's a deeper problem. Right. You know what I mean? I don't have nothing to do with what sex somebody's claiming. That's just you. So that's where we are with this. But I definitely want the conversation to keep going. Yeah. You're just joining us. This was talked about. Tamika saw something on Instagram or Facebook, whatever platform, where a young lady she was in Target in Texas. She saw that they had a whole clothing line targeted for newborn to toddler children that was promoting the LGBTQ community. And I stated that I disagreed with it. There was a whole bunch of stuff on it with the lady was talking about church and the Bible and stuff like that. And we didn't bring that into this because that's not what we're here for. But we just talked about our stance was we didn't agree that they should be making clothes for children of that age group. And that's how I feel about it. Tamika said she felt that way about it. People on here, you're free to disagree and give us a different angle. But if you're just coming in or if you're checking in a replay, that's what this live is about. And we want to get you guys' opinions about it. Again, I disagree wholeheartedly with that. I think that we need to allow kids to have their opportunity to live life and to choose and to understand what the ramifications of whichever choice, that you choose, but allow them to have enough time in their life to make a sound decision to live the way they want to live,
Yeah. So this another comment says it all boils down to the monetization of a group by any means. Capitalism often supersedes morals.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that we need to have more people in that community speaking from that perspective, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that we get into a space where a lot of us feel like we don't need to say anything, or somebody's going to say it for us. I promise you, I'm going to find this quote. I learned it in church, but it's I think it's a life thing, but it's a thing that says nobody does anything because everybody's waiting on somebody to do something. And I mean, it was just like a masterful quote. But I think that's what happens. It's like somebody will speak on it. Somebody will say what I'm thinking. Somebody will, do it, and then that never happens because everybody felt that way. That somebody will pick up the mantle and say something. But I think that more people from the LGBTQ community need to speak up, because I know that it is individuals who are still grounded in real life and understand that they chose to be with a man or a woman because that's their preference, but it has nothing to do with basic morals and principles of life. It has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And then so we can't be absent of that. And the same with people in the heterosexual space. Like you can't, tell somebody they can't choose, because they choose to choose something different than you. Like it's not that. That's just basic morals of life, basic morals and principles. We cannot strip people, especially not our children, of these things, of learning basic morals of life and teaching them basic morals of life. Right is right and wrong is wrong. That's always going to be the case. And that's what we learn first, what's right and wrong, you know? So people need to make decisions that they know the ramifications of. Right. They know what they're going to get. They made a strong decision. Hey, this is the life I live. This is what I want to do. And I believe that a lot of the people that has made that decision, especially in that community, are not the ones that's being, looked upon negatively. Right. I think that on both sides is individuals who want to impress upon other people their opinions and their belief system and how you feel, and then that's where the problem comes back. Neither the reason why is a decision because neither decision is right. It's what decision is right is the one that the individual choose to make. Mm-hmm. It's not a right decision or a wrong decision. But when you start saying one way is wrong, one way is right, that's where the problem comes in. That you got to choose. And everybody has the right to choose, but we shouldn't be taking our kids' choices away from them. Correct. We got another one. I personally think we have to prepare our children for the world and the attacks of the world. Not to be overly spiritual, we should be the exposure and provide the narrative as we understand it and explain the complexity as appropriate for their age. The world explaining things to me before my parents made me think I wasn't prepared and things were being hidden. Okay, so I agree. Yeah. At the same time, and we come from a generation, Jana, that our parents didn't do a good job of telling us anything because it was like they just kept their mouth shut and it was like stay in the child's place for certain things. I don't agree with that methodology. Yeah. But I do believe that you shouldn't fire hose your children with too much information that they're not in a position to properly process. Now, I'll tell a brief story. I have a good friend who, when we were teenagers, he picked up scrolls. So if anybody understands what scrolls are or know what scrolls are, these are books that tells you about, devil worship or the devil being present on earth. And they're not making you worship the devil, but they're letting you know about it. And they're talking about government structures and things that work behind the scenes with the government, people who created and run the world, all that other stuff that's written in these scrolls and things like that. And he went crazy. I had two friends. One went real crazy to the point where his mother destroyed the scrolls. And I haven't seen him since I was about 17, 18 years old. I don't know how he's doing, but I know the other one still not 100% where he should be. He went into a lot of drinking and everything like that. And this was not bad knowledge for him to take in, but it was too much. It was too much at one time. And I do believe in that because if you are receiving too much knowledge at one time, you're not going to be able to properly process it and handle it. A lot of our brains don't fully develop until our mid-20s, early to mid-20s. And so when you're given kids, and we all can say we all at a certain age where we can look back and say, damn, if I didn't even understand what they were saying to me when I was 20, when somebody was telling me this. I one of my examples of the song Coolio's song Gangsta's Paradise. Man, I listen to that song now and have chills. Where it was just a Coolio song when I heard it years ago, because in that space, I didn't understand what he was talking about when I heard that song 25 years ago. But now I'm like, wow, yo, he really preaching in this space, because I'm way more developed now, fully developed to be able to withstand it and understand it. The songs that we sung in the 90s, and we listen to it now, like, damn, they were saying that. Yeah. Even we listen to our mothers and our fathers' old songs, be like, what the hell? What? Teddy P was talking about what? You know what I'm saying? So like these are real active scenarios where you understand that we weren't prepared to receive what these people were saying. And so in this space, we got to think about our babies. Our babies were not prepared, are not prepared to receive a lot of this stuff, but it's being pushed onto them, without them being able to make a real strong, informed decision. And a lot of times we get into certain patterns in life and we are afraid to shift and make changes. You can look at us, forget just about your sexual proclivities. Right. Think about just in jobs. Think about you've been at a job for 10 years knowing that's not the place for you. You hate that place. You hate that career. You don't even want it. And we scared to make a shift. So what you think people doing when they talk about their love life? What do you think they doing? You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is real life things, and you can just take it and add it to different situations, and you can see. So we have to build up that strength. We have to build up the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that they can actually make real decisions and see more past the immediate response to the decision, but what comes behind it, and behind that, like playing chess.
No, that's a very valid point, that information sharing. Like I was saying earlier, for those of you that don't know, I raised my son as a single mom. So I know that I made some of these same mistakes. Like, I'm sure I overloaded him with more than he needed to know, because my thought process was, well, I'm raising a young Black man, and so young Black men need to be prepared. Like, I think that was one of Jana's comments earlier, like, we got to prepare our children. But I think too much of a good thing is never going to be good for you. Like, there's nothing wrong with the information sharing, but we just have to be mindful of what we're sharing and how we're giving it to them. Like Jay's point about that whole ages and stages developmental process, that is a real thing. If we're giving them too much and their brains don't even have the capacity literally to handle it, then what we're doing is we're causing more harm than good. And so, and then we have matters like this that come up, and then people are afraid to even talk and have a conversation. Like Candace said, she said she had to go, but she said, kudos for the conversation. We can't be scared to discuss it. And I think that that's what's missing in our community, is that ability to have healthy discussion. We have really strong opinions, and sometimes those opinions are in our own silos, but we don't bring it to the table so we can have healthy discussion with someone that may not agree with every point that we have. Now, I'm sure that there are going to be people watching this that don't agree with what we're saying or our stance on it, and that's perfectly fine. So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
let's get
educated.
Exactly.
I want to befriend that person who don't think the way I think. Everybody don't need to think the same. You got to bring something else to the table, but you can't not bring anything to the table. You got to bring something to the table, and we can't come with emotions.
Right.
Where we, because again, we live in too much in the world where reality is just like not even, it's not existing right now. Like, people are dead set on doing stuff that makes no sense. That's not real. That's just, hey, like, it's just, but I felt that way. I felt the way, so I can do it. Man, but when you were mature and you're grown, we know that just because everything you're big enough to do don't mean you should do it. Exactly. Everything that you can do don't mean you should do it. Yeah. We're grown people, and grown people can be okay with that. A lot of us want to do a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, that we choose not to do, because we know that's not the right thing to do, and it's too much of that. And a lot of adults are doing that. And when we bring it back to the kids, that's the example that we're setting to these babies, because kids do what you do, not what you say.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times we're saying something to a kid and doing something different. And the kids are not like we were when we were younger, and the generation before us, where we mamas can tell us because I said so. Or
Exactly.
no, they want real evidence. They will call you out, or at least they already put their mind and say, man, mommy and daddy, they tripping. They ain't living that type of lifestyle. They playing, they faking, and they're going to go and look for that person that's actually living the lifestyle. It's hard to get our babies out of the streets. Why? Because the streets is actually showing love. All love ain't good love, but they showing love. And so when we don't want to give out, I gave a speech to a school. I told them, I said, the streets are willing to feed our babies when we're not. The streets are like accepting our babies how they are, and we're not. And that's very, very hard, to combat. And the speech I was speaking to parents, actually, it was at a school. I was speaking to the parents. We got so much to say about our babies, you know what I'm saying? And we're not out here, like, who they are is who they are. You can shape and mold them, whatever, but the clay is the clay. You know what I'm saying? And so you can make the clay into some things, whatever. But once it takes shape, it's going to start moving and walking and doing this thing. And your job is to be there to try to guide it in the right direction. But a part of that guidance is through your action, through your living life. So if you sitting there fronting and saying and playing parent, and then they get a chance to see, they don't miss nothing. And you acting a different way than the way you acting with them, they going to see that. And they're going to think that that's okay to act. We grew up in our generation. I know I had some people in here from my hometown in North, where I had a parent, and sniffing coke in front of me, telling me don't do it. I'm so glad I didn't do it. But what they don't realize, and they don't understand it now, it wasn't cool to sniff coke, but I sold a whole bunch of it though. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point I was going to do something with cocaine, too much of it around me. So you can say don't do it when they don't see, hey, you ain't doing it. You ain't selling it. You ain't sniffing it. You ain't using it. So they might say, yeah, I might not do it. Now, that's not 100%. Because somebody always going to give you the 10%, the 1% that worked, that didn't. We're talking about a majority thing here. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to, the majority of the situation, these babies are looking for examples, and we are supposed to be the first examples inside the house. Then we should do the best we can with having the right friends around us, so that if that's who auntie and uncle is, they'll be moving in the same direction as you, or somewhere, close, so they're not so far straying, so far from what you want them to see. And you can't stop when they go to school. They're going to meet other individuals, but you can do the best you can by putting them in the best school that you possibly can put them into, in a school that believes in your morals and the things that you stand on. And then you got to have some belief in God, that your faith and your works, your good works, are not in vain.
That's right.
That's the best that we can do. And sometimes that's not enough. But I'd rather be able to say that I did my best and I did all that I can do, than to be able to say I didn't do everything I was supposed to do. So that's what I would tell everybody. I think it's been a good conversation.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. This has
Jana,
been great.
thank you.
Thank you, Jana,
Candace,
for commenting.
Anthony, what's up? Sal, what's up, sis? Shout out to everybody that came on. Everybody who came on, I appreciate y'all. That's on Facebook, people on YouTube. If y'all are not following the YouTube page, it is just right there, S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. YouTube, youtube.com/S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. Go to YouTube. Like this video, subscribe to the page, get the notification bell. We talk. His videos go up every single day.
Yeah.
We record all the time. We're talking about the things you want to talk about, grown up stuff, things that's happening every day, but also we're talking about business. We're talking about life, parenting, things of that nature. Because that's what I do. I talk about lifestyle. I'm a lifestyle coach. So we address a lot of these things. I welcome comments. I welcome commentary. Everything out of respect, but we address it. We've made multiple videos, responding to people's comments, so that nobody is left out, and we address those things. But it's a great platform. We want you guys to continue to support it. Thank you in advance for your continued support. And thank you all for everybody who's been supporting thus far. It's been your boy Jay and Sister Sims for my I
Yes.
Won't Starve Nation. Everybody know her as Sister Sims.
Yeah. So this has been great, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you are one of our replay viewers, please continue to comment so we can come in and keep this conversation going. If someone is willing to have a private conversation with Jay or I about this and you don't want it to be public, we welcome that discussion as well. You know how to reach us. Hit us in our DMs, and then we can, we can get on the phone and we can really talk about it. We, would love to have that opportunity as well. So we want this to be a situation that's beneficial for all parties involved. And we appreciate our family because you guys definitely give us the energy that we need to keep going. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. It's Memorial Day weekend coming up. I don't know if y'all got any special plans. We got a birthday celebration, hint, hint.
Two of them.
Two of them. But I was thinking about for the holiday.
Yeah, my birthday is on Memorial Day this year,
Yeah.
y'all. So, best present you can give me, if it's a actual present, a book. But just say happy birthday to your boy.
Yeah, happy birthday to your boy.
I always accept books. I love books. So if it's a book y'all think that, even if you ain't got to buy the book, just give me a reference. Tell me a good book to read. I love reading. So if you are a book aficionado like myself, I like to fancy myself a great reader. Yeah. My birthday's coming up on Monday, so a good present to me will be a list of books that you think I should read. If if it's your book, please. If I don't already have your book, send me your book. Send me your book so I can copy your book, and so I can support you. I always like to give on my birthday. So I'm a little different. So I'm looking for something to do for somebody else on my birthday. So my birthday's Monday. If you got a book that I haven't read or haven't purchased, put it out here or tell somebody they're looking for a sale. Somebody want to buy a book. Tell somebody come holler at me. Tell them, invite them to the nation, I Won't Starve Nation. Put their book out there and we'll buy their book. But I want books, and more books. So that's what I want for my birthday. So again, you don't have to buy me a book. Just give me a referral to a book that you read, something real good. Right now, if you move over, you see I got my library here, and I got other books too. But so I'm a book guy. Never thought I would be a book guy, but that's my thing. So that's what I want for my birthday.
That's awesome. Mr. Willie's checking in on our S.T.A.R.V.E Talk channel, balling. We balling over here.
What's up?
He said happy birthday.
Yeah, man. Hey, do I got his books?
I don't know.
I don't think I got your books, Mr. Will. So send me your the link so we can copy your books, man. I want the whole joint. I want everything. Every one you have so far. Send it to me so we'll get the books. That'll be for my birthday. And I'll take pictures of them once you send them to me.
Yeah. That sounds good. Well, listen, thank you all so much for checking in again. It's a holler for those.
My sister, Cash Tag. Cash just jumped on here. What's up, Cash Tag? I gave her that nickname. Listen, Cash has got me about to do something that I never thought I'd do before in my life.
Oh, okay.
And Cash has this amazing platform. She's doing these ice baths. Yes. Yes. I mean, let me tell you. The ones that
the players do?
Yes, but she does her own.
Have mercy.
She does her own.
Okay.
In the backyard, on the back porch, she has her own joint, and then she's had other people join her and doing the ice bath. I think her parents got involved and some other people. I want her to keep it going, and I want her to use her new name, Cash Tag. But no, Cash has did something amazing, and it was different. She's not a celebrity. She's not what's name. She did something she wanted to do for herself. I asked her why she did it. She was talking about how it makes her feel. And more importantly, it was like she's overcoming her body.
All right,
she's telling her body what to do.
Okay.
Not letting her body tell her what to do.
Okay.
And I am super inspired by her and the things that she's doing. And Cash, I love you, my sis. You got me about to go ahead and bust a move. I don't know if I'm gonna do as much as you, but to support your movement, your bro would do it. And yeah, we'll keep it going. So I think that's a good look.
That.
It ain't. I don't think it's gonna hurt me. It might be crazy. I might feel crazy at first, but hey, I'm willing to try. So I say that in front of my people. Cash, shout out to you for being a trendsetter. Continue doing what you're doing.
How long does she do it for?
About a minute or two.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's now she goes like she dunking her head in there now.
Oh, have mercy. Cash.
Yeah, now I'm just gonna get in first. But she's dunking her head in now. And but no, Cash, she's serious, and I love it, man. I love it because I've been on it when I started I Won't Starve almost 10 years ago now. That was me posting this crazy hashtag, I won't starve, and doing this. And people was just like, oh, what's that? And it, I liked it. I called myself Fat Boy. So everybody thought it was talking about me eating and all this other stuff. And I just was different. And now it's a thing, right? So I want her to have a thing. And I want her to have these ice baths that she can sell with her name on it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And people buying the cash tag ice bath.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it. People do sound baths retreat. Why can't they do ice bath retreats?
There it is. See, I'm talking about this, how we do it. So it's how we do in the nation. I think Cash is in the nation. If you guys go in the nation, y'all can get on and check out Cash. So
that's so cool though.
Hey, listen.
We y'all love have a y'all. Good one. Have a good day.
We'll talk to y'all soon.
Right.